Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is staying well and taking care of themselves, wearing your mask, all the new norms that we have in society right now. If you have not already, do me a favor. First of all, subscribe to my channel or share this with somebody. I am all about encouraging other people and passing things forward. So maybe if this isn't a message or some kind of encouragement that you yourself can use, and that's okay because I do believe we get the right messages at the right times, and so that's okay if this particular message isn't something for you. But if you feel like that someone, we're all connected, whether it's through social media or something like that, then please feel free to forward it and pass it on. Usually, I post my videos to my LinkedIn and to my Facebook. I can't really do it to my Instagram, but I try to connect them all. So I'm on all of those different mediums, if you will. And when I say I'm on them, I'm not really on them. I have them very begrudgingly, very reluctantly to do it. But, I know that's kind of where we're at with the whole social media thing. So if you haven't done so, feel free. You can follow. I have a Facebook page that is my Facebook author page for my book. And that's the whole reason that I actually set it up. So follow me on one of those things. Don't be offended if I don't follow you back because I don't really do that whole social media thing or send out friend requests. Or if you're in my friend request for like weeks, don't take it personally. It's just that I don't go on there as often as some people might think I do. So all that being said, so whenever I come up with messages, and I know in previous messages, I know some of you are newer to my channel, so you haven't heard me say, and usually I'm just always kind of observing life. Those of you who know me, some of you know me as Professor Campbell, some of you know me just as Favor, some of you know me as daughter, hey mom, so whatever your relationship, mentor is another one. I got my mentoring ladies. So whatever your relationship is to me, you probably know me in a different capacity than some other people know me. Obviously, my family, most of them have not seen me teach and don't know me as Professor Campbell, right? And so they may not necessarily know what I teach, or if you follow me through LinkedIn or something. So I teach sociology, and all my classes are sociologically based. I might teach a social psychology class or a race and ethnicity class, but they're all from the perspective of sociology. And so one of the things that comes easy for me, that comes very naturally for me, is to just observe um, observe a lot of what's going on, but observe it from very different angles. Okay. I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg. I don't know if I've always been that way, so I gravitated towards sociology, or if sociology kind of brought that out of me. But nonetheless, I'm always observing and always asking several different questions about a circumstance and a situation. It's not just like surface level for me. There's a blessing and a curse to that. It's really hard for me to turn my brain off a lot of times, but nonetheless, I'm just always, thinking about, well, why is it this way? What caused this situation to happen for this person, and so on and so forth. So because of that, sometimes it's easy for me to come up with topics, and then the other part of me, the faith part of me, wants to allow God to use me in a way that if there's a message or something that I can encourage somebody with, then I try to open myself up to that and allow him to give me some thoughts and that sort of thing. So it's kind of twofold on how I kind of come up with my topics. And so I was getting ready, and I always try to make sure I'm not repeating the same message over and over again. And I felt like what I was coming up with was something that I already talked about. Probably a few months ago, I had a talk on love thy neighbor. And here's a little secret. A lot of times after I go back and watch my video the one time, I don't really go back and watch them again. So sometimes I honestly forget what I say, and I always just trust that the message that I'm putting out there is what somebody needs at that time, and just kind of let it be. But so I was thinking about that message. I didn't want to repeat it. And so the topic that I'm thinking about today made me think about the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Many people know him as the actor who played Black Panther, and then so many other phenomenal roles such as Jackie Robinson and then Thurgood Marshall. And the thing that really, I mean, other than it just being a very heartbreaking story of him passing away from stage 4 colon cancer, it just made me stop and think, like, how, first of all, man, you got to commend somebody for keeping something like that which is very a personal experience, completely out of the public eye, especially being such a public person. And so I always commend people when they keep a level of privacy to themselves, and we don't have to always put all our business out there. And so for whatever reasons, that was, he chose to do that. So it was obviously a shock to many people to get that news, over a week ago, that he passed away at pretty much a very young age. I'm 40 and he's 43. So that's, that's so heartbreaking. And so I thought, wow, he was going through this journey that is unimaginable for many of us, right? Going through chemo and all that comes with cancer. And I would imagine, I think it's safe to say that only a small group of people knew this, right? I mean, obviously, some people had to know. He had people in his corner and whatnot, but not a lot of people knew. Therefore, it made me think about the topic that I'm talking about today. And it's, what battle are you going through? And if you thought about that battle, whatever tough thing that you're going through, and you thought about the person that you encountered, whether it's at the store or the gas station or, just out walking or somewhere, and you thought that maybe that person was dealing with a battle like yours or similar or worse, would it change your level of empathy towards that person? Would it cause you to be nicer to that person? I feel like a lot of the problems that we have in society, always, but especially right now, everything is just magnified, is because we have lost our empathy towards people. We've lost um, our humanity in a lot of ways, and we've lost, looking out for each other and knowing that just like we're battling our own thing, somebody else is battling their own thing as well. And so can you imagine maybe like the person, and it's hard to even wrap my mind around this, but that maybe was rude to him, or because he was tired on a certain day, they had an attitude with him, or they judged him, or something like that, only to find out that's what this man was dealing with. So what if we started taking that mindset, into consideration when dealing with other people? You have no idea what people are going through. I wish that was a message that we could remind each other every single day, because at the end of the day, we all are dealing with something. Sometimes life is easier to navigate than at other points in life, and then other times it just feels unbearable. And then a lot of things in the middle, right? Whether it's the passing of a loved one, whether it's being diagnosed with the illness, going through some struggle in a relationship, financial issues, the list is endless, right? And so if we remember that other people are dealing with their own struggles, this does not negate. One of the things I tell my students often is, when I teach sociological concepts, it's about understanding perspective, right? And understanding the bigger issues. And I always tell them, this does not negate personal responsibility. This does not mean that we blame society for all of our issues, okay? So the same sort of thing. This doesn't let people off the hook for just being rude. There's some jerks out there, right? Last week I had to follow up with my insurance company because of all the stuff going on with my house, and from the fire and whatnot, and it keeps going from one person to another, and it's just kind of a headache to deal with. And so I hadn't heard anything, and so I was following up with the insurance agent that I had been using, and he gave me an update, but then he's like, it's being passed on to this new agent. He copied her on the email, and so I'm just like, the update that I got, I had to reach out and find out what the heck was going on, and didn't get an update from them. So I was already a little frustrated with that situation. Plus, it's just a long process. This happened 2 months ago, and still dealing with all the residual effects of that. But nonetheless, the new agent, he had copied her on the email. And so I kind of waited a day or so, and I didn't, get any information. And so I emailed her and, just wanted to say, hey, I just wanted to follow up and see if there's any information you can give me, because this is a new process. It's not like my house catches on fire every other week or whatever. So I don't know. There's things in here that are happening that I'm not familiar with. And so I got the response from her, and I felt like it was a little bit snippy. I'm not gonna lie, it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And so, and it was early in the morning too. So I was just like, let me take a step back. Yes, Favor does get upset, bothered sometimes. I know some people find that hard to believe, or Professor Campbell, however you know me. But I read it a few times, and I'm like, I'm trying to, it's always hard to receive a tone in an email, right? We always have to be careful with emails and text messages, because it's hard to know what the tone of the person is. They may not have any ill intention, right? But when we read it, we read it like they said it with an attitude. And so I emailed her back and I said, ma'am, I apologize that, because she basically was saying, well, like he already told you. And I was like, wait a minute. Like I didn't ask anything that was, crazy. It's just like you guys are using words I don't even know, like I don't know what this means. So can you explain it to me? And that way there's no surprises on my end. And so, I emailed her back and was just like, ma'am, I apologize. You know, I, I I forget everything that I said, but basically, I just wanted to make sure, hey, wait a minute, so I'm saying that to say we don't allow people to run over us. We shouldn't allow people to be rude and obnoxious and, jerks and all of that stuff to us. We can stand our ground, but I think there's always a level of compassion and um firmness we can do it that doesn't come across like, they're giving out bad vibes. Well, they're going to treat me that way, I'm going to treat them that way. We don't always have to do that, right? Because again, you never know. I don't know what that lady is dealing with. I mean, I for all I know, I can make a million stories of what her circumstances, especially right now, right? So the point of this, and this is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but is to just keep that in mind. Keep remember that we're all humans and that we're all dealing with stuff. And if we keep that in mind, like I said, you have to think about the worst thing that you've gone through or that you're going through right now. I would hope that that would bring down, any kind of animosity or anything or, thoughts about somebody being just, a horrible person or something like that. If we all started to think that way, then maybe, just maybe, we could kind of get back to this place where we start seeing the humanity in people again and we start treating people with a little bit more empathy, much like we want, right? When we go through something, what works for us, we can't give ourselves a pass and then not give somebody else a pass, right? We like to have that self bias into place. So, keep in mind we're all going through something, and whatever it is you're going through, it will get better. Sometimes we just need to hear somebody say that we're never in a season forever. Seasons change, seasons come and go. Trials come, trials will try us, but things are seasonal and they're temporary, and we will get through it. So all that being said, I hope y'all have a wonderful week or weekend whenever you watch this, and I will see y'all on the next video.